Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking all about Judy Garland and her favorite beauty products that you can still buy today. And if you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Laura. This is a channel where I talk about all things vintage fashion and beauty. So if you love those things, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the big red button below. Also, please don't forget to follow me on my new Instagram account, Dahlias in the Attic. I also linked that below. Alright, let's jump right in and talk about Judy Garland and her favorite beauty products that you could still buy today. I just saw the new biopic about Judy Garland called Judy, featuring Renee Zellweger, and I thought Renee Zellweger did an incredible job, and it's such a good movie, so if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. It's really sad kind of reading about Judy Garland and her life and just kind of what she went through. She started acting at such a young age and she had to put up with so much. All the studios had put her on, and during the day they tried to put her on diet pills so she wouldn't eat and to stay awake, and then at night they put her on sleeping pills, so she basically was dependent on drugs her whole life. And then because she started using drugs at such a young age, by the time she was older she was completely hooked on it, and I think all her organs started to fail just from being so dependent on all of these drugs. And it's just really sad how they kind of just almost treated her like a workhorse and not so much as a person. Judy Garland was born on June 10th, 1922 and passed away on June 22nd, 1969. She was an American actress, singer, and dancer. Her career spanned over 45 years and she attained international stardom as both an actress in musicals and dramatic roles, as well as a recording artist on stage. Let's talk about some of the beauty products that she used. So first I'm going to talk about her perfume. The first perfume that she wore was Ma Griff. So I have two bottles here. I have the contemporary one as well as the modern one, and so it's from Carvin's signature fragrance line from Paris, and the fragrance name is Ma Griff. And this fragrance was created in 1946, and it's a fresh, dashing, flowery fragrance while remaining classic with a touch of glam. It's a very light fragrance. It smells a little bit like Youth Dew, a little bit like Chanel No. 5, and actually reminds me of like an Avon Timeless and some of the older mid-century heavier fragrances, so I quite like it. It kind of reminds me of Jicky as well. So it definitely has kind of an old-timey smell to it, but it's on the lighter side, so it's not as heavy as Youth Dew. I also think the bottle is kind of interesting too. It has kind of an old Hollywood look to it, and I quite like the lid. The second fragrance that Judy Garland wore is this fragrance you can't buy anymore, but it's called Blue Carnation by Roger & Gallet, and this one is from 1937. I found a vintage version on eBay, and let's talk a little bit about the fragrance. So this is kind of considered a classic floral fragrance for a woman. The top notes are carnation, middle notes are pepper and clove, and the base notes are Italian sandalwood, anise, and vanilla. So I have a feeling this is kind of almost like a darker, heavier floral, especially with the pepper and the clove as well as the vanilla. I opened up the vintage bottle and already I can smell the vanilla and clove. I wish you could still buy this perfume. It smells like it used to be quite nice. I really like the vanilla and clove smell. It's quite nice. So too bad you still can't buy it, but I do love the vintage bottle. And this one is from 1937. Looking at Judy Garland's estate online, I found that she had this vintage men's toiletry kit made by Back Prop, and I found the same one on eBay, and it kind of comes in a black brown leather case, and these kits were very popular during World War II, and they're marketed towards servicemen. So I have a feeling Judy kind of took this around with her to the movie sets and for traveling. So it comes with like vintage face powders as well as something for like toner. There's a brush, a mirror, 2 combs, and a nail file. And the one I got was from the 1940s as well. So I thought it was interesting that she carried around kind of a men's, I mean, it was considered for men, but this one looks like it's for a woman because it definitely has some female aspects to it. But I think the original one was definitely designed for men. But I got the one that Judy had in her vanity, and which was for sale at auction. I saw many ads for Max Factor featuring Judy, so I'm assuming she probably wore a Max Factor. I have some vintage Max Factor cream puff, and then as well as some vintage Max Factor cake mascara, but I also have the new version of Max Factor cream puff pressed powder, which was around since 1953. I also have the Max Factor Pan Stick Foundation, which I can guarantee Judy also wore. And then I have some vintage Max Factor lipstick. I have one here. It's called Max Factor High Society Clear Red, and this color looks like something Judy would have worn. I love the dark red color. It's very old Hollywood and glamorous. I also love the beautiful pink case that it comes in, and I believe this one is probably from the 1950s. I just love the vintage glam of it. So I found some old ads featuring Judy and Lux soap. You can still buy Lux soap today, so I thought that was interesting. In the ad it says Judy uses soap daily. I mean, it is an ad, so it could be a lie, and it might be, but there is a chance she may have used it to wash her face. And it seems like back then a lot of movie stars did use soap to wash their hair and face, which is different today because I feel like bars of soap were more marketed towards washing your body and your hands, not so much your face. So you can still buy Lux toilet soap today. And this was founded in 1899, and the name changed to Lux in 1900. And the name Lux is a Latin word for light and suggestive of luxury. And Lux toilet soap was launched in the United States in 1925 and the United Kingdom in 1928. So yeah, I was really excited to learn that, and I love that you could still buy Lux soap. I mean, it comes in so many different fragrances too. I thought the purple one looked interesting, so I'm excited to try this and see how it goes. The fragrance is very exotic, so anyways, I was excited to hear that. I also found a whole bunch of vintage Life magazines about Judy, so yeah, I thought it was really interesting reading about her and looking at the old pictures, and I highly recommend seeing Judy if you haven't already seen it.